Hello and welcome everybody back to the JP channel. We have a wonderful flight here for you today from London Gatwick here. The nice sunny skies down to Kos International in Greece. Let's get you ready all for that summer holiday feeling. So we've got passengers and cargo being boarded up here. As soon as that is finished we'll get ourselves underway. Let's get back into the cockpit and get everything set up. So in the aircraft here we have it all started up and connected to external power, just a few more things to go. We can set on a few lights just for now. And the seatbelt and no smoking signs for the passengers as they are boarding. Otherwise ADAS has been set, batteries and electronics are on, and we'll have a look down at the FMS. So here at the FMS we shall start to get this flight inputted into the computer, so we'll do an init request and wait for that to load. That should load in any second. There we go, so we're going from Gatwick here to Kos International. We are a British Airways flight today, flight 2748. And looking at our flight plan today, we've got a cost index of 41 and a cruise flight level of 370. We're doing step climbs today. We'll eventually make our way up to 370. Right. Quick align on ref for the IRS system, and we'll start putting in this flight plan. So for this departure today out of Gatwick, we are taking off from runway 26 left, doing a right hand turn following the Miffin 1 mic departure, and then taking that out towards Dover and across the channel. So I'll insert that in, and then coming into Kos on the other side, we'll do an arrival into runway 14, RNAV into runway 14, and that will be following the Copper 1 November arrival. There we go. Don't believe we have any transitions on the way in. No, we're simply doing... oh no, we will be taking battery in and into runway 14. Perfect. Right, that's all set up. We can start with the other things such as the perf and a fuel plan, and once that's in and ready, contact GSX and get ourselves pushed back and ready for taxi. Okay, so the plane is set up and ready, just waiting on fuel. Once we load it in, if we have time we can have a look at our Navigraph charts here. So we'll be taking off from the Minfo 1 November, departure out from runway 26 left, crossing the channel, making our way across Europe, down the Balkans and the Dalmatian coast and over the Aegean Sea down towards the Copper 1 November arrival and the RNAV runway 14 approach into Kos Airport. Alright, now with that overview sorted and the last little preparations being done on the aircraft, we'll get ourselves taxied out of here and head towards the runway. For takeoff, we'll start our roll. Manual flex +61, SRS boxed. Runway 26 left on the asphalt, ready to go. 18 knots checked. just need to get above 1,500 feet for this first turn. Levers back to climb. There we go, above that 1,500. Climbing up to the MIFO transition towards 6,000 feet over London. Start that right hand turn. Completed that turn out of the departure from runway 26 left. We shall continue this path at 4,000 feet until we reach the next waypoint of Acorn, up to 5,000, and then continue out to MIFO at 6,000. After that we'll follow that on towards the Dover VOR. From there we'll cross the channel, across to the coast of France and Belgium, and across into mainland Europe. We are just approaching info here. That will be the exit of our SID out of London Gatwick. We'll set the barometric altimeter back to standard and continue our climb up to cruise altitude of 37,000 feet. Now the aircraft will take over that momentarily, and passing through 10,000 we'll switch all the lights off and get the cabin a bit freed up, turn the seatbelts off, let them walk around, continue our way up. Once we're at 37,000 feet, we'll do a little cruise montage and continue our flight across to Kos International in Greece. There we go, crossing Linfo now at 6,000 feet. Making our way up, set the altimeter back to standard, engines spooling up as we climb up. Until you reach 10,000 feet, we'll be stuck at the 250 knot maximum speed. We've still got our lights and everything turned on. Those will all come off once we get a bit higher. So, continue our way up, passing through 10,000, climbing up to 37,000 feet for our cruise altitude. So we have just reached our cruise altitude of flight level 370. Had a wonderful departure out of London Gatwick today. Great weather, absolutely no problems, and hoping to continue that all the way across to Greece and down to Kos Island. Now, as we have the time up here, I think we'll start to have a look at how our arrival will look into Kos. So let's get up our Navigraph charts and we'll go with our flight plan. So we are just over Belgium right now, continuing on to Comob, and then we'll continue on into Germany. But for the meantime, we'll be taking the Copa 1 November arrival towards runway 14 at Kos International. So we'll be arriving into Copa, doing a transition at Battery. We'll be looking at around 4,000 and a max speed of 185. Continuing into the RNAV approach from Battery at 4,000, drop down to 3,500 for Infa, and dropping down further down to 3,000 feet at the intercept for the glide slope down to runway 14. From there, as we land onto runway 14, it's a bit of a quick stop if we're going to try and exit onto Alpha 1, so by the looks of it, most likely we'll have to backtrack on runway 32, so we'll carry on down to the end, backtrack down runway 32, exit at Alpha 1 and park up at the gate. If by some miracle we're able to, we will try and stop early enough to get off at Alpha 1, but that might be unlikely, so it might be a bit of a long taxi back in. But anyway, that's everything for the Navigraph charts. We'll continue our cruise at this flight level and have a little montage, and we'll see you on our descent down into Kos. Have a great flight. We're just approaching the top of descent now. Been a lovely cruise from Gatwick to Greece here. So let us put in some destination data into the FMS so that we have everything loaded in. Or in fact, no, let's start our descent down first of all to the arrival. So as we said before, we need to be at about 4,000 feet at battery. So we'll start our descent down to 4,000 feet. I'm trying to see where that spits us out if we can. It's too busy down there. That's quite a ways away, so we will have to, I believe, try and slow the aircraft down a little bit as we continue our descent. So let's see if we can try and see where it'll spit us out. It's a bit unclear, but as we get closer we'll be able to see. As long as by Copilot we are down by 5,000 or 4,000 feet, then that is fine by me. Anyway, back to the destination data, as the FMS is still shouting at me for that. So we want to get our QNH. No, delayed, not quite. We are in the air. So our arrival meter 1009, 20 degrees, and 31008. 31008 for the wind, 20 degrees. Nice day here, and 1009 for the QNH. Just make sure that's all correct. That is correct. Good. We will do a full landing just to get our speed down as low as possible. As we said before, the turn off for the runway at 14 is quite quick, so if we can make it, then that would be great. If not, we will have to back taxi down to the end. Now for our landing here into Kos, we'll have a look at the chart today. So what are we looking at? We've got a Al-Navina straight in landing, A, B, C or D. We'll just go for D today, so that'll be a 678. Barometric minimums. That is all done, and we'll have one last look at the runway itself. So it will be dry today. Line the meter. Make sure, there we go, that's up to date. Landing weight. Let's get out of that for a second. And check the FMS once more. Around 63 tons. 63 tons, perfect. And we're going to have to do, yeah, it'll be quite a long landing. So full flaps. We'll use the reverses. I think we'll have to. Medium brake, do max manual. Yeah, I think. For today it'll be a medium auto brake, auto throttle on manual landing. Yep, seems like we will be back taxiing up runway 32. Alright, that is everything in and loaded for the arrival and landing. That's all looking good. Yeah, we are seeming to be a bit too short there. Just reduce that range and increase the descent. See if we can't get that a little bit closer to Copa. It's a tiny blue line I could just about see in there. Just before the Copa waypoint. Maybe 3200, that should be enough. Yeah, right about there. And I'll keep an eye on the speed. If that goes up any higher, I'll have to put out some speed brakes. But we'll continue our descent down into the approach and arrival into Kos. So as we approach Copa, we're looking a bit fast. I think I'm going to try and set up a hold. We're an inbound of, what are we now? In fact, we're just going to heading for a second to find out. 108. And the cabin is trying to call me at the same time. Get their attention.
The cabin is now secure for landing.
Yeah, we'll just do one quick hold, right hand at Copa, just to reduce our speed, in which case we can, wrong way, reduce that just a little bit, because we do currently have full speed brakes out and we're just not reducing any speed, and we're already below 10,000 feet, which is not great. So as we do that, we'll just drop that back a little bit, just so that we can get the right approach speed, or a more reasonable speed and the correct altitude as we approach battery, because that is the start of our RNAV approach into Kos, which I believe is just over there. So we're not too far away, and we'll drop below 5,000 now, so we can pull ourselves back to standard. Sorry, away from standard parametric and down to QNH 1009. And as we go down to the green dot speed, we'll put out some flaps as well, just as we do this one quick loop around Copa in this singular hold pattern. In the meantime, so we'll bring this speed brakes back. And continue to slowly drop our speed. Now battery, so the next one after Copa, we do need a maximum speed of 185. That's why we're trying to drop down as much as we can. We're below that green dot speed, so we can bring out this first notch of flaps. And we go down to 185 now. I think we can exit immediately now from this whole pattern and continue straight onto battery. There we go, just exited that hold and continuing on to battery. Now we are at 4,000 feet and 185 knots. That's a good approach speed into the RNAV for runway 14. As we do this, we'll just have a quick look at the mist, or go around mist approach for runway 14, so we'll be climbing straight out to 3,000 on runway heading out to Kilo. Is that Kilo Oscar 142, then a right turn direct to Lecoq, and we'll just hold on a hold pattern around Lecoq at 3000, and go back to battery and try again. But that seems to be all we need to prepare for this approach, so we'll just continue in. Once we're lined up on the localizer and everything, we'll continue our descent down into Kos. There we go, engaging that turn now, drop ourselves down to 3000 feet. And we shall arm the approach. No ILS today, so we don't need the LS indicators. And as we go down towards 3000, once we pass that Kilo Oscar 141, we'll drop the last amount of flaps and the gear and go down to our final approach speed. Crosswind still in the single digits. It's still looking good. And once again, just to go over it, if we look at the charts again, as we arrive into Kos, landing on runway 14, I don't think we'll be able to make Alpha 1 here, so we will have to backtrack. Well, we'll travel down to the end of the runway and backtrack up runway 32, going off at Alpha 1 and parking in the Alpha area, running the terminal. There we go, we've just started our descent down from 3000 feet. Following the VNAV. That means we can continue the reduction of our speed down to 137. We will drop down to flaps 3, and gear is also coming down. In terms of landing, spoilers are armed, we have ourselves set for medium auto brake. No smoking lights and seatbelt lights are turned on, and we shall continue our approach down. In fact, I think as we're going over land now, we can take over from the autopilot. There we go. Just to correct ourselves a little bit, get back on the centre line. Do have a bit of a crosswind here, not too much, but that's okay. Seeing 2 white, 2 red on the happy lights, that's a good approach angle for now. Don't want to drop too low.
500. 100 above.
9-10 knots of crosswinds as we continue down.
Minimum.
Continue.
$100. 50. 30. Retard. Retard.
There we go. And we're down. Reverse is armed. Go full reverse. We'll stow them and go manual braking. Continue down towards the end of the runway. We'll have to turn around and backtrack up runway 32. There we go, not an awful landing. floated a little bit at the end there, but that's alright. Had more than enough space to stop. Do a quick turnaround here at the end of runway 14 and backtrack back up. We don't want to have to stay on this runway for any longer than we need to, so we'll try and pick up some speed. And once again we're going off at Alpha 1, that'll be on the right hand side now. In the meantime we can try and clear up this airplane a little bit. So there we go, ground spoilers can be retracted, lights and whatnot can stay on up above, but we can tidy up here a little bit. So we'll back up here, taxi back on into the terminal, and park up on the way out to look at see what GSX has for us, what spots we can take outside the terminal. But it's a small airport, so I think we'll fit anywhere. So exiting the runway here, Alpha 1. And in the background here we have the beautiful Kos International. This is by Atelic. Great scenery. I think you can get it on the New Build store. Well worth it. Right, now we're off. We'll see what GSX has to offer. So just approaching stand 6 here at Kos Airport. That'll be our parking stand for the end of this flight here. Let's hope we can do a better job parking than our last video. Bit too far to the right, try and correct that. There we go, that's looking better. 5 meters left to go. A bit off to the right side, but I think that is doable. There we go. Parking brakes are on, APU is also on, I can turn the engines off. APU is already up and running. Great. Well, thank you everybody for joining along on this flight down to Greece. Now that you're here, I hope, and wish you a happy holiday time down here in Kos. We had a nice landing in here today. Absolutely no issues, much better than our landing in London in the last video. If you feel like it and you'd like this video, please feel free to subscribe, turn those notifications on, and please do like and comment. As always, if you've got any more ideas or videos that you'd like to see, please leave them in the comments down below. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thank you very much. Bye now.